Happy Wednesday, everyone. Before we start, may I ask the audience if you can hear me, if my audio is audible? Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Blue. Thank you, Genesis. How about my screen share? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Um, today I will be the host of this live market analysis, and I am an Elliotician. First, I will give you the Elliott Wave perspective of the market. And then after that, I'll be giving you my scalping strategy, a perspective of my scalping strategy using the QTR or quarterly theory reloaded. And I'll be giving you some tips later on how to execute it. So let's start first with a quick recall of the previous analysis that I have made. Last June 3 or 4, I have hosted a market analysis wherein I have explained the possible structure of the code. And as you can see here, we were expecting an ending diagonal. And then after the ending diagonal, counted as 333, or the wave counting will be 333. 33333, or 5 sets of 3 waves, or 5 sets of ABCs, or ABC counting. So the lowest possible target will be 3,397.056. Let's try to look at this particular price action, if what happened after our session last time. So I am now on the gold, and I'd like to go to that exact date, June 4. So this is the June 4, and let's try to look at what happened on that particular time at uh, that particular price action. So this is 15 minutes. Allow me to change this into 15 minutes as well, so that we will be able to see the price action that I was referring to. So as you can see here, this one, as you can see here, if we will try to compare it, I am expecting that the price will go up to 3,397.56 at as the first target. And then once we break the bearish last line of defense here, then it will go up to 3,490. However, let's see what happened after that. So here, let me replicate or simulate what I have plotted here. So we have the following. I labeled this as wave 1, wave 2, then we have here the wave 3, wave 4, and then I was expecting that it will go to this wave 5 here. So allow me to put the price label on what particular price the target was during that time. So based from the previous analysis that I have made, I'm expecting an ending diagonal, meaning 33333 wave counting. So if I'm going to replicate that, if I'm going to replicate that, then the analysis or the wave counting will look like this. First set of ABC, then the second set of ABC here, then the third set of ABC will be around here. And as you can see, based on the Elliott wave structure, what I have forecasted uh, last June 24, what was exactly is what exactly what happened on that particular week. So the target initially was around 3,000, the 3,397.56, and then in this particular price action, we were able to get that first target because we have identified the Elliott wave structure ahead of time. So if I was not able to identify the Elliott wave structure carefully here, then I will never be able to forecast on what will happen after. Now, for those who are here with me or for those who have been with us, especially during my session, many of you are aware that after a diagonal, specifically an ending diagonal, a price action will happen. And can anyone tell me what is that price action that I'm referring to? Let's see if you can still remember the things that I have been sharing in this uh, podcast. Allow me to check the chat. So what do we call the price action that will happen after a a diagonal? Can anyone tell us what will happen after an ending diagonal? Yes, definitely. A throw over will happen after that. So it's good to know that some of you here can still remember the things that I have been sharing or the educational uh, sessions that I have been sharing. So a throw over will happen after an ending diagonal. And that's exactly what happened after the ending diagonal. After the completion of the or after the last three waves, the completion of the fifth wave here, we saw a sharp dump. So throw over in Elliott wave theory is a sharp dump right after a right after the ending diagonal. And that's exactly what I have forecasted in my last podcast session. Okay. Now let's continue. Or what is the current situation now of gold in terms of Elliott wave theory? So allow me to first give you some reviews of the analysis that I have shared in my community, and I was supposed to share this last week Wednesday. I was the host initially, but unfortunately my internet connection was bad. So I decided, I asked Eric if he could take over. Unfortunately, he was also busy during that day. So allow me to share what I have missed last time. So here is my analysis of the current Elliott wave counts of gold. Now, we many of you here, especially Elliotticians, are aware of the three cardinal rules of Elliott wave theory. There are three cardinal rules of Elliott wave theory. First is that wave 3 must not be the shortest. That's the first rule. So if we have here wave 1, wave 3, and wave 5, among these uh, motive waves, the wave 3 should not be the shortest. However, if we will try to look at these carefully, Wave 1, when measured from the beginning or the origin or wave 0 to the peak of wave 1, here it's 245.725, the or 7.88%. Now for wave 3 here, it's 158.242 or 4.88%. And then for wave 5 here, 159.302 or 4.84%. Now, according to the there are three cardinal rules of Elliott wave theory. First cardinal rule, wave 3 must not be the shortest. Second cardinal rule, the wave 4 must not go beyond the territory of wave 1. But that cardinal rule will only be applied in an impulse wave, meaning the wave 3 is an impulsive one, meaning there's a sharp pump or a big pump in terms of the wave 3 price. Now, however, in this particular illustration right now, you will notice that wave 3 is the shortest. So, Sir Jack, then the discounting not should be an invalid setup. However, upon checking the different brokers of gold using the SXAU USD or the Shao USD, I tested 20 brokers and only two of them are with wave 3 as the shortest. And those two, out of those 20, those two brokers are the TVC and the Capital.com. So, statistically speaking, I would prefer the one that gives us more consistent results, which is the majority, which is wave 3 is not the shortest among the other brokers. So allow me to show that in a different broker. So let's say, for example, let's use this one, Pepperstone. So if I'm going to measure this from wave 0, to wave 1, it's 245.44. And then if I'm going to measure the wave 2 to 3, it's 158.11. And if I'm going to measure the wave 5 here, so in this particular case, the Pepperstone is still the wave 3 is still the shortest. I did not check that last time. Let's check the Forex. Okay. Obviously, the wave 1 here is the the longest among the three waves, or the waves 1, 3, and 5. And as you can see here, wave 3 is not the shortest. And then I have tested more brokers just to make sure that my analysis, because the accuracy of Elliott wave theory depends on the rules. There are specific rules that must be satisfied carefully before making a forecast. And with with this being said, I have shown you that there are brokers whose wave 3 are shortest, and there are brokers whose wave 3 are is not the shortest. But based on statistics, since majority of the brokers will give us a wave 3 as not the shortest, and therefore I will continue with this analysis wherein I will consider this as a leading diagonal. Leading diagonal meaning a diagonal in Elliott wave theory means the wave 4 will go beyond the territory of wave 1. However, this wave 4 should not go beyond the territory of wave. So in other words, if you're going to trade this wave 4, your invalidation should be placed within the price of wave 2 or the beginning of wave 2. So here, after I have confirmed that after I have confirmed that the wave 3 is not the shortest in most of the brokers, this was supposed to be given last session by me. uh, I will be looking for semi swing short. And we know what happened after that. Although uh, the news are the catalyst of the technicals, for the technicals to happen or the technical to happen. But in Elliott wave theory, one of the advantages of it is that you will be able to forecast the market based on the price action given or Elliott wave counts given, and of course the accuracy of the analyst. The accuracy of this depends on the accuracy of the analyst. And then after that, uh, we were looking for a semi swing short here, and here's the updated Elliott wave counts in 15 minutes time frame. This was analyzed yesterday, and I was expecting that the gold will give us an ABC correction. When I say ABC correction, I'm referring to this one. A, this will be our A, this will be our B, and then 5 waves down. So as you can see here, we are not yet done with the internal waves of the wave C, because if we will try to look at it carefully, we only have 1, 2, 3. This is probably our 4, and then we still have to create a new low before a possible zigzag correction will happen. And let's check the internal waves of these waves 4 to 5. What's the current situation right now? So allow me to go back here. So yesterday I expected that the price of gold will bounce around this wave 3 levels, which are 3,300 to 3,289. I think the price bounced at what's the price here, at 3,295, which is within the projected pivot or reversal for wave 3. And then the pump that we have experienced today is just the wave 4 of the third wave, the possible third wave. And then here, another outlook using a different broker, we can consider this as our wave 1, wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have completed the internal waves of the third wave. And then the invalidation of this parenthesis wave 4 will be the price of wave 1. Again, in an impulsive wave 3, wave 4 should not uh, overlap the territory of wave 1, or else the setup will become invalid. And let's see what happened after this. I'm expecting that the price will respect this bearish first line of defense at 3,342. And then what happened after that? Uh, just today, uh, I have forecasted that there will be a reversal before the 3,342 first line of defense, bearish first line of defense will, before the bearish first line of defense. And we know what happened after that. The price continued to go down, and as of now, the price is at 3,323.81 as of now. Now, allow me to, that's the current situation of the Elliott wave theory of gold. So, in other words, we have here the five way the we need to complete the internal waves of the wave C, and the possible wave C price will be around 3,239 to 3,216 if it becomes impulsive. But if not, that will be around 250 to 250 to 260 only. Okay, so of course the if you want to be more accurate, or you want to have a more refined projection or measurement in Elliott wave theory, we count the internal waves, meaning up to the 1 minute time frame, Elliott wave can be done. But of course, that's a difficult thing to do, especially if you're a beginner of Elliott wave theory. Okay, so that's it. What we are still expecting that the price will still create a new low if we base it on the Elliott wave counts of gold. So we are just with the bounce that we have experienced is just the wave four, and we still have to complete the five waves down to complete the zigzag, the ABC or zigzag correction. Okay. Now let's this time I have mentioned about a my scalping strategy, which is based on the quarterly theory, but it is called QTR. The R is for reloaded, simply because I use a different time window in applying the quarterly theory. Basically, quarterly theory looks like this one. Okay. If only the session is earlier, probably at around 8 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. in my country or in my time zone, the I should I will be able to share this setup to you. So in the overlapping session of the London and New York starts at 8 a.m. up to 12 p.m. using the New York time zone. In my country, that 8 a.m. in the New York time zone is 8 p.m. and that 12 p.m. will be 12 a.m. in my country. So therefore, this is the first quarter, or the therefore quarterly theory reloaded is a quarterly theory applied in the different time window. And that time window is the overlapping session of the London and New York. And what is that overlapping session of the London and New York? It's from 8 a.m. New York time zone up to 12 p.m. Now, um, while I was preparing a while ago for my session today, I have projected already the possible structure of gold. So I initially forecast label this as XC. XC by the way stands for X continuation. The X here can be, if I label this as X, the X can be continuation or it can be reversal. But in this case, X the X here is obviously a continuation. To show you why I projected it as continuation, simply because the trend is downtrend. So if the trend is downtrend, if the trend is downtrend, then therefore my projection should be, look, the trend is downtrend. So therefore, I labeled this the first quarter as continuation. So the continuation of the downtrend. Now, what's next after that? I expected that the price will accumulate in the second quarter. So in other words, I divided the overlapping session of the London to the New York into four quarters, and each quarter is composed of 1 hour, because 8 to 12 is 4 hours, and then each quarter is composed of four sub quarters, and these four sub quarters can be labeled in as AMDX or XAMD, depending on what will happen on the current price action. So here, as you can see, we have here the the first quarter as X continuation, and you simply label the the four sub quarters as AMDX or XAMD. Obviously, the manipulation happened here in the sub quarter, second sub quarter two. So therefore, this will be my manipulation, and then the first one, the first sub quarter will be accumulation, the third will be distribution, and then I have forecasted that this will be continuation. Because just like what I have said, XC is continuation, I'm expecting that it will continue to go down. Then after that, on the second quarter, I initially labeled this as A or accumulation. So there will be accumulation. Within this accumulation, an XAMD or AMDX will also happen. And in this case, I labeled this as XC because after this, it continued to go down. The price action continued to go down. And then I labeled this as A, and then I labeled this as my manipulation. So in other words, if I'm going to if I'm going to trade this or scalp trade this, then I'll wait for the manipulation and find an entry. And in this case, allow me to share to you my setup of this, my setup of this. Sorry. Okay. So I need to this here. Okay. So to share to you what happened in this price action, since in quarterly theory, the goal is to wait for the manipulation to happen. So in this particular case, I forecasted that uh, the possible structure for the second quarter is XAMD. So therefore, I'm expecting a manipulation that will happen on the third sub quarter, and then I will trade the the fourth sub quarter of the second quarter or the accumulation phase. So if I'm going to draw this, then therefore my entry will be the low of the first sub quarter of the stage. So I'll put my entry here, and then the SL will be the low of the manipulation. So the manipulation will happen in the either in the second quarter or in the second sub quarter or third sub quarter. In this case, it's on the third sub quarter. Then therefore, what after the manipulation here, I will make a position or I will make a trade using the sub quarter one of the accumulation as my entry and the low of the manipulation as my SL. And that's what you will see in this particular price action. What will be the target? The target would be the high of the first sub quarter of the accumulation stage, and then the final target will be the high of the first quarter. Okay, so what happened after this? So the price tried to break out from the after the manipulation stage, and then it retested the entry, and then after after 30 minutes I was able to uh to gain around 7 pips gain using a 2 pips risk only. So if you're using the QTR based on what I have shared here, then the you can minimize the risk and maximize the gain. Now let's see the continuation of this. So as you can see here, I was able to get a 4.24 RR trade. The risk is 1.83 pips only, and then the gain is 7.76. But and then since I have two setups here, I have two possible setups here. The scalp with 7 pips gain, and the other one is around 15 pips gain. As of now, the RR is around 7.03. If we will try to base it on the current price, around 4.92 RR already. So after this, I am expecting that the price will create. Initially, I am expecting there's a note here. If this is swept, I will change the structure from XCAMD to AMDX. Because if there will be a sweep of the quarter one high, then therefore the manipulation will happen on the third quarter. However, if there's no manipulation or if there's no sweep of the first quarter high will happen in the third quarter, then the structure will be modified from XCAMD to AMDX. Now let's see what happened after that. Since there was no manipulation that happened in the third quarter, then I will now change this into accumulation, and obviously this will be the manipulation, and this will be the distribution, and this will be an XC or an XR. XC if it will continue to go up, XR if the price will do a reversal. But basically, in quarterly theory, what you are trying to catch is the AMD, not the XR. You find the manipulation, and after the manipulation, create or find a setup that will target the distribution. And in this case, the distribution is usually the largest among the quarters of the quarterly theory. And for those who are curious if this QTR can be applied in other pairs as well, yes, I have tested this in different pairs and in different market, even in crypto, even in stocks or bonds. Okay, so that's basically the Elliott wave theory and the quarterly theory reloaded. So I'll check now the chat if there are questions that you would like to ask. I'd like to answer it and explain it further if ever there are any part of the explanation that is not so clear. Basically, the quarterly theory reloaded is by ICT, and the QT or the quarterly theory is by Dale. But upon checking, I'm a trader researcher. I don't just follow people without actually gathering data. So what I did was I tried to gather data based on my observation, and I found out that the market will be more volatile during the overlapping sessions, and those overlapping sessions are the overlapping sessions of Sydney to Tokyo, London to uh, Asian to London, and then London to New York. So basically, I find setup 3 times a day only using the QTR. Yes, I think you got it correct, Sam. That's basically the all similar what you have stated there, combining order block, supply and demand, and liquidity. Basically, it's almost the same. The only difference is that I am trading in a different time frame. Others can also consider this as turtle soup idea because you wait for the manipulation before you enter. That can also be considered. But basically, I am explaining it to you uh, based on the data that I have gathered. And I have several trades. Actually, I always do live analysis in my community, and just to show the my community of traders that QTR works not only in not only in gold but in different time frame. Uh, FX in ENGRG time frame. Are you referring to the time window of this QTR? If yes, then if let's just use the New York because usually most of us or most of the traders will use the UTC -4. So I'll change this into New York time, and then the the London uh, the London New York overlapping session will start at 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And by the way, all those boxes above will be an automatic box because I have coded this strategy of mine just to make sure, just to test the strategy statistically. Because if I will do it manually every time I would like to gather data, then it will take a lot of my time. So what I did is, since I am a self-taught uh, coder, then I translated my idea into codes and then uh, to back test and forward test the strategy. And before I shared it to my community, I made sure that I have enough data that will give a significant result. But basically, I'm still an Elliott wave theory analyst. It's just that Elliott wave theory is mostly used for projection purposes. And in my case, I'm a different breed probably because I don't use Elliott wave theory for forecasting purposes only. I also use Elliott wave theory for scalping. And my community will be the witness for that because I've been doing a lot of almost daily or twice a day analysis of Elliott wave theory and QTR because I am teaching them for free because I like to share my work. Uh, if probably if you will ask me why are you why are you sharing this for free? This could be gatekeep because the strategy is working. Uh, how will other people know that my strategy is working if they don't understand what I am trying to do? So for them to understand what I'm trying to do and for them to realize that my strategy works, then I shared them how I did it, and then basically they once you understand it, you will be able to do it on your own. Basically, if perhaps people would ask, will after the why would you take this trade if you're just waiting for the manipulation? Of course, there are other confluence that I can use. First and foremost, I have given you the Elliott wave uh, structure already that I am expecting that the price will go continue to go down. However, of course, the it will be a mini 5 waves down. So this is just the reversal of the possible wave one of that 5 waves down continuation. Now, aside from that, I can also use divergence trading or even the one that you call smart money technique. So if we use the smart money technique here, okay, for sure in this QTR or in this QTR transition, there will be an SMT. And of course, before I took this trade, I know that there will be an SMT that will happen here. Okay, so this will be the possible SMT if we will try to look at the price, and to let's compare it to silver, because we all know that silver and gold are directly proportional. So the relationship between these two is positive correlation. Therefore, we can use them in correlation analysis. And in this case, I have identified these pivots or this as possible SMT or smart money technique. Then let's try to plot that in the silver's chart. And as you can see, we have an SMT here. This is not only the confluence that I use, I also use statistics to confirm whether this uh, divergence is strong or not. In in statistics, there's what we call correlation analysis. And to give you an idea of what is this correlation analysis, correlation coefficient scale are is a range of value from 0 to positive 1 or 0 to negative 1. So if the correlation is 1.0, it's a perfect correlation. If it is 0 to 0.2, then it's a very weak correlation. Now, if we will try to look at the correlation between uh, gold and silver, the correlation must be strong before you use it as pair for correlation correlational analysis or for finding SMT. And in this case, I will only consider, statistically speaking, I will only consider a zero point 0.6 to 0.99 as a correlation that is strong. Now, what's nice about TradingView is that we have indicator for that, which is the correlation coefficient. So if you would like to know that, all you have to do is type CC and then you will see this correlation coefficient. And Eric is one of the analyst trader that I have seen that uses a lot of correlational analysis. And it can be done by using this correlation coefficient. So all you have to do is click this correlation coefficient and then type the pair that you would like to use. In that case, it's the silver. But here, I change, or rather, it's the silver. But here, I combine two indicators, the correlation coefficient and the RSI. So all I have to do is, if I want to switch from RSI, and then I was just simply toggle on and off. So in this case, I'll use the correlation here as another confluence in taking this trade. So just like what I have said, a correlation is strong if and only if it's above zero point 0.6. Now let's check whether this SMT or smart money technique is a strong correlation or not. So all I have to do is check the price of the pivots of this. This pivot is 0.85 and the other pivot is 0.94. Both the pivots of this identified SMT is above 0.6 level, 0.8 actually, 0.8 to 0.94. Therefore, this SMT is a very strong correlation coefficient value. Therefore, if you're going to take this trade, then your invalidation will be one of the pivots of the SMT that was identified. And in this case, this is the low of the SMT that you have identified, and therefore you will use this as your invalidation. I have seen a lot of people using SMT the wrong way. The reason why I said that, because if you have identified an SMT within this, if you have identified SMT on these pivots, then therefore, once the price breaks this pivot, then your setup is already invalid. And in this case, the price did not break the pivot of our SMT or smart money technique, then therefore, the 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 SMT that we have identified will still continue to go up. So in that case, I don't just call this as SMT. I call it as SSMT. What is SSMT? Statistical smart money technique, or statistical SMT. So I call this as SMT because I if I'm going to look for all the SMTs, there are a lot of SMTs, but I will only take SMTs that are strong in terms of its correlational interpretation. And for it to be considered strong, the correlation must be zero point 0.6 above. I don't think there will be 1.0 correlation, because that's a perfect correlation already. And if you will try to look at the distribution of the data here in this particular table, as you can see, if the correlation is very weak, the points or the price is scattered like this one. But as the price, uh, as the correlation increases, or the association of these points uh, becomes more, what's the statistical term for this? Um, More, the term is not compressed, or the close to each other. As the points becomes close to each other, like this one, then the correlation becomes strong. And as you can see here, 0.6 to 0.8 will give us a linear, possible linear correlation. So therefore, if I'm going to make a regression analysis on this, the best fitting line will be a linear, or a line, or a linear equation, if we talk about statistics. Thank you, Sami, for recognizing what I am sharing. Originally, before I became a trader, I'm a researcher teacher. So basically, what I am sharing to you is not just a based on my experience, but based on statistics. As a researcher, I don't give results that are not statistically tested. And what I have shared a while ago is statistically tested. Okay, let me check some questions again if there's still some questions. You're welcome, Sam. Uh, uh, Sam has another question. Does correlation changes time to time? Yes, the correlation changes from time to time. The higher the time frame, the better the more credible the correlation. But in this case, even if I use it in the idea of SMT in the lower time frame, 1 minute to be exact, I was still able to use statistics in checking whether the correlation of that SMT or divergence is strong or not. All you have to do is check the pivots of the SMT, check the correlation coefficient of these SMTs. If it is zero point 0.6 above, personally, I'd like it to be zero point 0.8 above, but zero point 0.6 above can still be considered as a strong correlation. So, but if it is zero point 0.8, this will be, for me, it will be an A plus setup. And as you can see, imagine my SL is just from my entry is 3,313, and then my SL is at around 3,311. So that the risk was minimized based on statistical SMT, and the gain was maximized. Of course, if you minimize the risk, the reward will be maximized. And in this case, we are already on the uh, around 7 RR based on our initial setup. Of course, I will close my trade after the overlapping session. So once the once we once I reach the last quarter, the end of the last quarter, I will close my trade regardless of what will happen next. Because originally this quarterly theory reloaded that uh, uh, I have formulated is for scalping purposes only. If I leave my position right after the trading session or overlapping session, then that beats the purpose of my strategy, which is for scalping purposes only. What are your other confirmation before taking position in manipulation phase? I have uh, that's the question of Kimura. I have already explained one. That is the the correlation coefficient or the statistical SMT, or if you want uh, more confluence, I can use the RSI and look for a divergence. In this case, I changed my indicator into RSI. This is the pivot, and then this is the two pivots of the price here. And as you can see, there is a hidden bullish divergence that happened. So if you're a divergence trader, you can also use that as another confluence. But in my case, the correlation will be enough for me to take this trade. Actually, you can use other confluence strategy as well. But uh, for me, the statistical SMT will be enough. Aside from the market structure that I have shown a while ago, it was expected that it will do a bounce at least 3 waves up before it will continue to go down, based on the Elliott wave theory preloaded. Elliott wave theory uh, price action. Sami FX, does this correlation only works at lower time frame or higher time frame? It will work in any time frame because correlation, uh, just like what I mentioned, as long as the correlation or coefficient values are above zero point 0.6 to above zero point 0.6, then therefore the correlation will be strong. So there's the degree of confidence that you will be in taking that trade will become higher if you will check its correlation coefficient value. Thank you, Picasso. Uh, Sir Jack already have the upper hand throughout research and statistics. Very inspiring and lovely live session. Yes, I definitely take swing trades because I'm an electrician, and most of my trades before are swing trades. But in forex, um, swing trades are sometimes boring. So I've evolved from just a pure swing trader into an intraday and to a scalper. How often do I trade? I trade 3 times a day. Once during the overlapping session of the Sydney and Tokyo, and then the second session will be the overlapping session of the Asian and London, and then third will be the overlapping session of the London and New York. You're welcome, Kimura. What's my edge? My edge is being an electrician. I think I am. I if I will personally assess myself, I think I am above the normal electricians that you will see out there because I can use Elliott wave theory not only for swing but also in scalping. I even do wave counts in the seconds time frame. And my community can attest to that because I've been doing it in a consistent basis or for more than a year now. I think I've answered all the questions. If there's any question that I have missed, you please feel free to up or to tag me. Thank you, SBOJ 27. It's probably because most of the traders that you see or most of the electricians that you will see, I'm not trying to brag on myself, but most of the electricians that we'll see out there are electricians that uses Elliott wave theory for forecasting purposes. Me, I don't just use it for forecasting purposes. I also use it for execution purposes. That's why I am not only counting the waves in the higher time frame, but also I count the waves even in the smallest time frame, seconds time frame or 1 minute time frame. Based on the statistics that I gathered, the most profitable session will be during the London and New York overlapping sessions. That's the most volatile sessions, and uh, I can show you the previous sessions for that. Let's check on gold, and then let's try to look at the 15 minutes time frame. No, the 5 minutes time frame. This one is the New York session. And look, classic AMDX. Another New York time zone, AMDX. Another AMDX. And then another New York time zone. This is a continuation uh, model, meaning there will be no clear manipulation that will happen. Here, another AMDX, XAMD to be exact. Uh, this is X reversal and then manipulation, X reversal, accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. So that's the beauty of uh, knowing how to code because I know my strategy very well. I translated it into codes. That's why I was able to give uh, statistical results, not just based on my guts, but this is based on the results of my statistically gathered data. Okay. So I think that will be all for today. Uh, may I ask Genesis to assist me in giving the giveaway? Um, we all know the banned countries already. Unfortunately, there are banned countries in Blue Guardian. So if you are from those banned countries, uh, I would uh, I would like to request you uh, to to close now the this session for Genesis to take a screenshot of the audience so that the those who will be randomly picked will win the prize, because even if you win the prize, but if you're in the banned country, obviously you will not be able to receive that. But anyway, regardless whether you win or not, for sure you have gained something from our session for today. Let's